Hey guys, how you doing?
Great.
Good. Alright. The reason why we gather here today is we're going to talk a little bit about the possibility of creation of a corporate responsibility and sustainability department. And we're going to talk a little bit about the benefit, how and why we got to establish it, and how the company can benefit from that. Okay? And for the remainder of the speech, we're going to refer to it as CRS, Corporate Responsibility and Sustainability Department. Alright? So, show of hands, how many of you think that this summer has been unusually hot and the winter usually cold? Very good. And how many of you would like to live in a world where pollution is kept to a minimum, in a clean world for current and future generations? Okay, good. So, I see that we all care about the environment here. And as a company, one of the ways we can achieve that, or just do a little part, is to establish a CRS department. Okay? And just so you know, so I can clearly air, in my previous position at a different company, that's what I did. I was integral part of establishing such department. And the company that I came in, they were doing other things like recycling. They had good intentions, but it wasn't structured. So what we did is give it a structure, laid the foundation for such department, and what we did is we monitor the progress of that department, make sure that the results are within the target, and also make sure that the costs and the revenue are up to par with our vision. Alright, what is the aim of a business in general? Why is a business created? Anybody?
Make a profit.
Make a profit, okay. Well, a CRS department, what it does, while the company is making money from the business and creating jobs, it also ensures that various stakeholders are benefiting also, mainly the community and the environment. And when you do that, what ends up happening is that the markets, mainly the consumers, your consumer base, they react in a positive fashion. Not just the consumers, but also the investors, because they perceive the company as ethical, that it involves less risk, so they're more willing to invest in a company as well. It also affects costs. For example, a small example, when you do light bulbs are energy efficient, what it does is over time decreases the cost. At first it might be a little bit more, but it decreases the cost. And also, while we're making money and doing all these good things, also the ultimate thing is to minimize the impact of the company on the environment, on basically the world, while doing business. And what we'll do is, in this presentation, we're going to be talking about the costs of doing, undertaking such endeavor, and also how the company can benefit from it. Okay. Well, let's talk about the cost first. I know, because you guys are maybe thinking creating a whole department that's going to add extra costs that we're not really willing to spend at this moment, but it can be gradual. It doesn't have to be, brusque, because for one, you don't want to disrupt the flow of business, because once you create something new like that and just do it overnight, problems are bound to happen. So one way to do it is we consulted a consulting firm. It's called Deloitte Consulting Company, and the way they did it, or the best way to do it, is to have an embedded structure. And what they mean by that is within each department, you have key employees, key managers that are, besides their regular duties, they have dual duties. They also report to the CRS department, and part of their duties is to ensure that the CRS directives are being followed. Okay, and benefit. There's a number here that is really eye-opening. In the Dow Jones index, they have a Dow Jones Sustainability Composite, and that's just a group of companies that have CRS departments. They found out that in 2009, their profits were higher than just regular Dow Jones companies who don't have CRS department, and that's an eye-opening feat. And which means that consumers, they tend to go more with companies that are socially responsible than other companies. Okay, let's see here. Now we'll talk about how the stakeholders benefit from such department. Okay, the first thing we'll talk about is the environment. Of course, that's the most obvious thing. The environment benefits from that because you minimize the carbon footprint of the business, and you conduct business in less intrusive fashion. By doing that, you can conserve the environment. And things like you can do, like for example, if you mentioned Starbucks, they do LEED certified buildings. What that means is you get a certification from the government that says that they're energy efficient buildings, the way they consume energy, the way they conduct business. That's how they get it. The second thing would be supply chain. When you do a CRS department, what ends up happening? Two things. The supply chain across the board you have to adhere to your efforts. So you can say by osmosis that the supply chain becomes also conduct itself also in an ethical manner, use directives that the company tells them to do, and in a way they become more responsible entities. The second thing would be the transfer of know-how. For example, we'll go back to Starbucks again. Starbucks, what they do is they work with their entities, their supply chain. The most easiest example would be the coffee growers. And what they do is they work with them to improve their crops in terms of quality. And also they show them ways in which they can grow their crops without really negatively impacting the environment. Okay. The second thing is when it comes to government. When you do a CRS department, the government will view you in a positive light. So it kind of benefits the company because when you do that, you tend to get favorable treatment because they know you're an ethical company, and sometimes in the form of tax breaks, and a lot of times, let's say a gap happens, and the punitive damages, the punitive fines and stuff, they're not going to be as bad because they're going to know that they will know that you didn't do it intentionally, that you're just doing it. Okay? And the community. This is a big one because once you do efforts like that, what happens is the community responds in a positive way. For one, examples that you could do, get involved in the community is sponsoring community events, adopting causes that are very specific, and by doing that, it's a win-win situation. There is a researcher, her name is Ismail. In her paper about CCR, she says that once you get involved in the community and they respect you as a business, the amount of friction and conflict between the community and the business tend to be reduced. More than that, the company gets a good pull to hire from because once they respect you, they see you as a good place to work. So you have a built-in pool of potential hires. Okay? And the other thing is that employee morale, it tends to be higher. As I mentioned before, when you work for a company like that, you feel that you're doing, excuse me, you feel that you're doing something important. You like to be involved with, the community, with the environment, things like that. But here's a specific number that is also eye-opening. you've got 53% of the employees, they indicated that a job where they make an impact on, on the world is more important to their happiness. More than that, 35% of the employees surveyed, they indicated that they are willing to take a pay cut to work for a company that practices CCI. So as you can see, it's, again, it's a win-win situation. Okay. In conclusion, and I put in your handout that I gave you, there's an illustration that you can check it out. In conclusion, a company that practices CCR only results in a win-win situation for the community, for the government, and the business. All parties are going to benefit by engaging in business activities that ensure jobs for the community, revenue for the government, and while safeguarding the planet for future generations. That's why they call it the triple bottom line strategy: people, planet, and profit. So, in other words, by doing something like that, we're bound to be successful and also safeguard the environment. Okay? Thank you for your attention. And as a question, we can talk later.